Good morning. Today is Thursday, December 15th, 2022, and it's about 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So there's a lot that's going on in the market. I had probably about 20 of my alerts that were triggered this morning, starting, I think the first one was at 12 a.m. when the overnight market started taking out some of my alerts. So as mentioned before, I got into the market. This is the Dow. There goes another alert. In here yesterday, and I bought some put options, and now it's down here. And it's going to continue. It's going to break this line. Like I said, it's probably, I like to see it come down close to this bottom, at least by tomorrow. I don't know if that's too soon, but we do have next week. Next week would be the last week until things start to calm down. Dow Jones definitely broke this this balance area, which is right about there. And now it's headed down. It's kind of in no man's land down here. I mentioned before, when a market comes up like this, had a small retracement up here and it comes up, it's going to come down at least 50% before it comes up. But because we're in a bear market, this market's going to continue going down. Those dings that you hear, those are my alerts going off. I've been hearing them all morning. More lows are broken. Anyway, so this is a pretty big move here. Geez, this whole market is just coming down big. There's just so much to say about this, but anyways, like I had mentioned before, this was going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And I had gotten into the market with several, buying some stocks and also buying some ETFs, and they're clearly going down. Also mentioned, I like to follow the Russell because the Russell kind of seems like it's leading the way. And here it is. It's going to hit this alert any minute now. The Russell's been leading the way ever since last year, about 2 months, 3 months before the end of the year. The Russell's been going down, and then of course the Dow, Nasdaq, and the ES followed. So this is almost like an indicator telling me where this market's going, and sure enough, it's going down, and I'm sure it's going to wind up here by the end of next week, maybe even tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, these markets are tumbling down. I've invested some put options in quite a few ETFs and stocks. Just in a matter of 2 days, my account is up quite a bit, and I expect it to even double by the time it gets down here, and that would be enough for me. Like I said, I'm kind of conservative in my trades, but I wait for these big moves, and when I do, as I mentioned before, you can make enough in just one trade, maybe 2 trades, but if you wait for these big trades, you can make enough where most people make in a whole year, and that's being conservative. I used to trade. My mentor 24 years ago was retired, and he was making $750,000 a month, retired, and that was 24 years ago. So these guys are making hundreds of millions, billions of dollars trading these markets. Now, this is only a small percentage of people. Of course, there's only about 2%. Mentioned before, 90% of the people lose, about 8%, they sell out just because they get scared or whatever, just timing, and they might make a little bit of profit. And then there's 2% that make money on a regular basis. But also, kind of sadly, these markets cannot exist without those 90% of the people losing money. So the inequality of the way the economy is set up is pretty extreme right now. Like I said, there's only about 2%. It'd be nice if it was like 10% to 90%. But it's not the way it works right now. The market can still function well if it was 10% or even 20% of people making money and 80% losing. But you have to have the majority of people losing in order for these markets to work. And maybe one of these days I'll explain that to you, how that is. So here's another trade I got into. I didn't get into it early enough. I mean, I could have. I think I got into it somewhere here. But it's down here and it's moved quite a bit. I was deciding on this one because it had such a nice spike. It was on my radar. And I kind of pulled the trigger on this a little bit late. Not late. Of course it's going to come down in here. But be nice to have gotten in somewhere around here. And I finally did purchase this going down. And it's picking up some pretty good speed here. Another one I got into, and I mentioned this yesterday, right here. This market actually got in, I think about here, but anyway, it went up and it was down, not much, maybe $1,000, not a lot of money. And it came down, of course. I got all that money back and then some. I like this because there's a spike up and it ran all the way up, didn't have any correction in here, and it just kept going. And of course it did this because there's some news report that I forgot what company it was, because I don't pay attention to news, only for fun, that had acquired a lot of stock, and so this market had gone up. And so I kind of like news reports when that happens, because that means the market's just going to turn around and come right back down, and big. So this has a long ways to go. I can make a lot of money on this. Like I said, there's no correction here. It just went up without a correction. And we are in a bear market. So this is fighting physics. Physics is something pushing down. There's a lot of weight pushing down, and when you try to push against that weight, eventually when it breaks down, then you come down really hard, and that's what's going to happen here. Like I mentioned before, we've got so many opportunities. If you learn how to play this market right, there's an incredible amount of opportunities. Even if you just trade one stock or one ETF, you can make enough to not only to live on, but to live a really good life, for the rest of your life. So here we are with Tesla. I was deciding whether to short Tesla too. Of course, all these markets are eventually going to go down, and I can just short all of them, and they will all go down. I'll just make a lot of money, and that's what they talk about when the markets are going up in a bull market. You just put your money out there on anything, and it all goes up. Everything eventually goes up, and you make money. The only problem with long-term people is they just don't sell. And you can have $1 million on paper, and really you don't have anything until you sell. And that's the problem with 90% of people, is they never sell. And so this is like the opposite. This is going down, so I can probably trade just about any market. Probably 99% of all stocks and ETFs, maybe 95%, they're just going to go down. And you can just throw a dart at a board with all these ETFs and stocks on it, and you're going to make some money as long as you trade down. But of course Tesla is going to go down, so why didn't I buy Tesla yet? I still might buy it, but there's just too many opportunities out there, and I just put a lot of money, like I said, on the ES because there's a lot of volatility, a lot of volume. I can get in and out at any second. Some of these stocks you can't do that. This one here, as far as buying options, yeah, this is almost as good as an ETF. There's a lot of people trading this. This is really big. This is a huge market, and it is very volatile. So this market, it's actually gone up a little bit. So it's not really moving a lot today because it's done a lot of its movement. It came down and then went back up. But it's did a lot of these movements early on, and now it's kind of sitting here a little bit and kind of chugging its way down, but eventually it's just going to hit really hard and it's going to take off. And so I'm watching these markets, and I'm watching for those kind of moves, these spikes. And it just creates another spike and goes up, then that might be the time that I might buy. And then the difference is I can make money on this if I just let it sit. But if I wait for these spikes, and when they go down hard, I can make 10, 20, 30 times the money than if I just waited from here, Anyway, that takes some explanation, and as you follow along, you'll see what I'm talking about. So here we're back to Amazon. Amazon came right back down to the bottom again. It's down about $3, almost $4 today. Eventually it's going to break here, and eventually it's going to continue down in here and maybe wind up around 20 bucks. I'm not sure, but it's definitely going to come way down here. And yep, that's the way the stock market works. Okay, so back to the Dow Jones. You see how this market went way down here and it just shot up because of this momentum. Took it all the way up to here. Now this market came down here, hit a W pattern, and shot up. Where do you think it's going to go now? It's going to go way down here. A lot of people don't know that, but that's what's going to happen. This is a matter of physics. You can't deny physics. I don't care what the news says, what people say out there. This is coming down, way down. But for now, because we're at the end of the year, I'm not sure how far it's going to go down until it actually stops, and might come up a little bit and then come back down, because that's how the markets work. They go up, they go down, they go up. So, yeah, this is where we're at right now. The markets are looking good. My profit is way up there, and it's going to continue to rise for the next 2 days. I'm not selling. I might sell tomorrow, or I might hang on and then buy back on Monday, because I'm not sure what's going to happen next week. But like I said before, I take this one day at a time, and I go by feeling. And as the feeling that I have right now, this looks like it's headed down. There's no stopping it right now. I might feel differently at the end of the day or tomorrow, but for right now, I'm definitely hanging on, and there's a lot of momentum going down. The Dow Jones is down about 765 points. I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to the 1,000 points or even over today. And then night trading, it might come up a little bit and then work its way down again tomorrow. I mean, that's how I see it. But I'm definitely sticking to my positions right now. And so that's it. I'm going to check my alerts to see what, because during this video I've had a lot of alerts go off. Yeah, I just checked my alerts and looks like, ooh, I can't tell you how many, maybe 20 alerts went off today. So I'm going to be busy actually readjusting some of these alerts and looking at some of these stocks. I even added some new ones last night. But, you know, as we're talking here, you can see the market continues to go down. We're already at 776 points down. And, you know, of course, that's a good sign for me because I'm trading down. I'm not trading up. It's pretty rare I'm going to buy a call option in a bear market. Now, these would be good call options here, but I'm still pretty skeptical about some of these, just on guard when it comes to something like that. But as far as put options, easy play. Easy play. Even if I didn't buy any calls and just all puts and waited till the market got up, you make so much money coming down. It's just incredible. There's no other game, other business on this planet where you can make this kind of money this fast. It's crazy. But, you know, 24 years trading, it takes sometimes years to learn how to do this. And if you have a mentor, then of course you're ahead of the game. Okay, so we're going on 800 points now with the Dow going down. And so we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'll talk to you tomorrow. I might do an update today only because this is a big day. But if not, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.